economy of the region is still based on coal mining, but it's a very different enterprise than it was. It took generations to drive the tunnels that riddle these hills. Today, entire mountains are moved to get at the treasure beneath.
So this is a new industry.
It's actually an old industry reinventing itself.
Yeah, so they've removed the whole of this mountainside. So before this operation started, these trees went all the way across the valley.
Correct. It's the main way the coal's extracted in the anthracite region.
So it's very efficient in one way because they've removed entirely the coal along this entire surface, which goes for many tens of miles.
Yes.
But they've got a tremendous amount of waste to move as well. That's very inefficient in that way, isn't it?
Yes, they move a tremendous amount of material just to get to the coal. The economics of it are depending on many factors, on the thickness of the coal and how much burden you have to move to get to the coal.
But whereas there would have been several hundred men working on the ground previously, you've now got a couple of dump truck operators, crane operators.
Yeah, a mine which may have employed 2,000 or 3,000 people is now reduced to maybe 10 people or 15 people. The first generation of mining back in the 1800s was through underground mine methods. And you can see the various tunnels on the rock where the deep miners tunneled through what was a layer of coal at the time.
And there was almost an underground city of people working underground, coming in from the valley along these narrow little tunnels.
Very dangerous conditions. Many of the men paid the price for it.
You know, in the earlier days, it was get the coal out. Safety wasn't too much of an issue because the amazing part of it, they valued a mule more than they did a human. If an early immigrant got killed in a mine, no big deal because you had 10 more waiting out in the street for his job. But if you lost a mule, let's put it this way, they had more tears shed for that mule than that miner. And from 1869 to 1950, over 30,000 anthracite, now we're talking anthracite miners, died in the mine, died from injuries.
The modern world was built at a terrible human cost, but there was also a cost to the rest of nature. It's another aspect of the Appalachian legacy.
So then, why is the water so red?
It's principally because of the water coming in contact with pyrite. When these coals were formed, they were formed in a backwater, sort of swampy, boggy environment. And there was a lot of bacteria and decomposition. There was a lot of sulfur. You had a lot of pyrites forming, which is an iron and sulfur mix. As the water comes out and encounters the air, the iron hydroxides that are in the water, which is essentially like rust, starts to accumulate on the stream bottom, and it really chokes the aquatic life pretty much from the bottom of the food chain up.
So this affects all the wildlife that would normally be in a natural river.
And sometimes for 30 or 40 miles.
Yeah, a lot of rivers around here are that color, aren't they? So it's a pretty regional problem.
The search for coal led to many discoveries about Appalachia and the Earth's geology in general. But it's not just about coal. No surprise, really, when you consider that this diverse and complex range runs from the Atlantic Ocean to almost the geographic heart of the continent. In the dramatic rock record of the Appalachian Mountains is written the long, slow evolution of the continent. The destruction of ancient oceans and the creation of new ones have radically changed our planet's geography. In the folds and faults of these rocks, scientists have succeeded in identifying the cycles of these massive collisions. The process that slowly but surely reshaped our past also shapes our present, sometimes violently, as earthquakes. over the next 250 million years, the slow movements of the continents will gradually bring them together to once again form a single supercontinent. Mountains, once the metaphor for permanence and strength, will be gone. Oceans eternal will be swept away to be replaced by new oceans. It's just geology.